Welcome to this week's Future Toolbox podcast. We explore the Z to A of life skills, where each letter stands for a topic and essential tool to help you get ahead in life. Meet Jules and Mark, creators of the multi-award-winning Future Toolbox, and enjoy their straightforward approach to creating growth mindsets that help people turn their dreams into realities. Whether you're a teen in education, a parent, a teacher, or part of a community group, start creating positive habits from today.
Welcome to our latest Z to A podcast with me, Jules, and Mark from the multi-award-winning Future Toolbox.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back.
Welcome. Now, this is where we pick a letter from the alphabet and a topic and discuss how you can use our tools and tips to improve your own personal development and life. So, over to you, Mark, to let us know what this episode's letter is.
So, yes, this episode's letter is R for reflection. And we're going to be taking a little look at reflecting back in the past. And I'm sure we can always drop one of our most favourite ever quotes in there, which is live your life forwards and learn it backwards. And that's what reflection's all about, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about looking back so you can look forward.
Absolutely. So at the time of recording this podcast right now, we're just coming into summer. And people will be really, really excited about going on their summer holidays. Schools will be breaking up. Students will have finished their exams and they'll be looking forward to a big, big, long summer break. And taking this time off, taking this downtime, whether you're actually going on holiday or not, you might just be having a bit of a break. You might be having some time off. It's a really good time to reflect and look back, perhaps over the past year if you've been in school, perhaps over the past year in your job or your business or whatever. People always tend to get really hung up on doing this at the end of the year, don't they? Where it's coming to a new year, a new start and all these sorts of things. But why not do it now over the summer? That's a good time to do it, isn't it?
That's a very good idea, actually. And like you say, for some people, a very good time of year to do it, because if you are taking a break from your job or you are on your summer break from your education, it is time to reflect and look at what you've achieved over this past year. But also, one of the things that we promote quite highly through what we do here at the Future Toolbox is we actually reflect at the end of every month. And that's in our book, the Bujo, How to Bullet Journal. We get you to write down things that have happened over the month. And then at the end of it, you can reflect and see how things have gone, what's worked, what hasn't, what needs more work, what you've nailed. So, don't always leave it till the end of the year or the summertime. You can reflect monthly, weekly, or even daily.
I mean, you just mentioned about journaling, which is something that we're big fans of doing. If you get into the habit of journaling every single day, then you get into the habit of reflecting quite regularly. I hear lots of people, lots of friends who regret missing out on things because they just get far too busy in life. They're basically just sitting there at the end of whatever the time period is, whether it's on their summer holidays or whether it's at the end of the year or whether it's their birthday or whatever. And they sit there and they look back over a period of time and go, wow, where did that time go? Oh, I wish I'd have done this. Oh, no, I just didn't get time to do that. And then your life then becomes stressful and full of regret because you've missed out on things. If you're reflecting on a daily or even a weekly, or as you say, a monthly basis, you're looking back and you're thinking, what have I actually achieved? What have I missed out on? And all of a sudden, then that links very closely into sort of mini goal setting as well.
Yeah. So how do we reflect? Now, a great way to start is grab yourself pen and paper.
That's a really good way. I was going to say look in a mirror, look at your reflection, but
oh well,
no,
yeah.
That's not going to work.
If you haven't got a journal that you've been keeping, grab yourself a pen and paper. And if you're going to do the year, it's time to revisit the past year. You can begin by making a list of everything you can think of what's happened, the real highlights. Now, if you don't keep a journal, a good thing to do is if you've got lots of photos on your phone, go back that year and look at the photos, because you generally will take a picture of a lot of the things that you do.
That's a really good idea. I like that, yeah. Because we get memories pop up on our phone and think, oh, wow, this time last year we were doing this. So, yeah, that's a really good. I love that.
Yeah, so you can use that. And also, and I know a friend of ours that does this, sometimes you think, why do they put that on Facebook? Because it looks a little bit like, oh, well, I've just had a coffee in such and such, and we did this and we went there, and you think, oh, but the reason that a lot of people do that is because that's their journal, that's their thing, and those memories, like Mark just said, pop up, and it's like, oh yeah, I used to do that on a Sunday morning or something.
So you said great tip is to pick up a pen and paper. You could actually just pick up your phone and do it electronically as well.
You could do your reflective on your phone or on your laptop. I'm a great believer in having something visual, something in front of you that you can really see and, I don't know, write down and put the descriptions on a piece of paper or a journal. But if you haven't got that, you can do it on your laptop. You can do it any way that you want, but yeah, keep it chronological as best that you can. If you're going to be looking at over the last year, so go back that 12 months and start from there and writing down everything that you can think of that you've done or achieved or tried to, and don't start thinking, oh well, that didn't go very well. Don't worry about that yet. Just start putting that list down together.
This is actually nothing new. We've been doing this for years, but people all of a sudden have come up with this term journaling. I remember when I was at school, people would keep diaries. Yes. But the difference you had back then was your diary was secret and nobody could read it.
Yeah, it wasn't all over social media.
It wasn't all over social media, because obviously social media didn't exist. No. But it was something that we did. We used to write down sometimes how we were feeling, our innermost secrets. In today's world, obviously promoting positive mental health and everything, we're now encouraged to open up a lot more. So maybe some of those innermost secrets in those diaries were where people write down things about maybe the negatives as well as the positives. And they would say, do you know, I'm not feeling very good today, or I'm feeling really stressed about this, or this has happened in my life and it's not good. And they bottle it up and then lock their diary shut. Yeah. And that piece of information would be sitting there. And then the only person that would read it was that person that would sneak in and read their diary which you were not you're not allowed to do that. Yeah. But most importantly, joking aside, the only person that would generally read it would be the person who wrote the diary. Whereas now it's about looking at writing things down, reflecting, and then if things aren't going too well, acting on it and moving forward and thinking, right, okay, I've been writing this stuff down about being stressed out leading up to my exams, or I've been writing this stuff down stressed out about leading up to this business meeting or whatever it may be. Actually, how can I solve this? How can I move forward with it?
Yeah, I remember when we were going through a lot of our possessions and stuff and sort of downsizing everything that we've got within our house, and coming across a number of books where I'd been journaling at various times over the last sort of 10 years. Reading them was just absolutely fascinating, and what I used to write down brought me an awful lot of joy. I won't lie, because some of it was just really funny. One of the books, though, was my journey from the breast cancer diagnosis. But even that, somewhere in there, I managed to still put some funny things. It just was amazing reading and going back and seeing what you actually went through and how you managed to get through it and what you achieved in that time as well. So yeah, definitely, if you don't journal or write things down in diaries or whatever, I would hugely recommend it, because they're fascinating to go back to a few years later or a year later and reflect over.
One thing I love about your journals as well is you use lots of colours and lots of little pictures in them as well. And I'm a big fan of doodling. Just draw a picture, went to the park, draw a picture of a couple of trees or something like that. It just brings it to life as well. It's not just about putting the words down on paper. It's about putting little smiley faces and creating your little emojis. And again, back in that day when people used to write secret diaries, we didn't have emojis, so we just called doodles then, weren't they?
They were called doodles, or you just put like a little heart. It's like, oh, I really love that, or I really love him or her.
Oh, yeah, there's a secret's coming out now.
Yeah. When you start doing your reflection and you start putting down all the things that have happened over the last year, then have a little look and, as Mark was saying, think, well, that was great, that really worked. And then I tried it again and maybe did it slightly different, and that wasn't as good. But it's just an absolutely amazing way to look at what you have been doing with a little bit of a critical eye. And reflection is not about being self-degrading. It's about seeing what went right, what didn't go quite so well, and how you could improve. And perhaps it might be that it was just the wrong time.
You mentioned about reading the old journals when we were downsizing and clearing some stuff out. And I remember reading one particular journal where I'd written some stuff that was quite negative because I wasn't feeling too great at the time. I was really suffering with anxiety and stress following my brain injury, and my mood was really, really low. And I remember reading a couple of things on there saying, oh, my fatigue was so bad today and I really, really struggled to focus, missed a friend's party, felt really down. And what that actually done for me was I was reading that thinking, wow, that doesn't happen anymore. I don't feel that anymore. So that gave me the platform to think, wow, I've moved so far on in life and I've managed to take this forward and I don't feel that stress. I don't miss my friends' parties anymore because my anxiety is so high. So that's a really, again, a good way of pushing yourself forward and thinking, okay, that wasn't very positive. How can I make it positive?
Yeah.
And again, as I say, it goes back to the sort of mini goal setting, really.
It does. And the other thing, if you're going to be reflecting over the past 12 months, what you might notice is there's some patterns within what went well, what didn't, and your moods and whatever. So that could become very apparent and that could help you in moving forward.
A really good example of that, and just staying on the theme of the brain injury, was when I was introduced to what was called a fatigue diary. And I had to log down activities that I'd done that day and what my fatigue level and fatigue scores were. I remember one particular day where it was a Saturday. I got up, I'd done a run, my fatigue level was really low. After the run, it was really, really low. Then we had a business event in the afternoon, which involved being in a very confined space. It was actually on a bus. There was a bus in the town centre that had been parked there, an old-fashioned bus, and we had to promote our business through that. And I remember being really stressed before going to that and writing down that my fatigue level went up and I started to get stressed. And then at the end of it, by the time I'd done this event, I'd been stuck in this confined space. It wasn't something I enjoyed at all. I was off the scale. And that pattern was really, really key because the rest of the evening was sort of wiped out. I couldn't really function. The next day, I was really, really fatigued. I was really stressed. I was really anxious. And the trigger was not the run in the morning. It was the coming home and preparing for the business event. And I didn't want to be in that environment. I didn't want to go to that event.
Yeah.
So what do? I either find a way of enjoying that event, find a way of coping with that event, or find a way of not going to events like that again.
Or finding a way of getting somebody to go on your behalf.
Absolutely. That's a good one, isn't it?
That's really good.
It is a key. I didn't tend to do many more events like that. And we made a decision of maybe that's not the way forward with our business.
Yeah.
And be honest with you, we haven't missed doing those types of events. But the key point I'm trying to make to our listeners here is I identified the trigger. Take away brain injury, take away fatigue, take away low mood. You can sometimes find the trigger for something in your life there, something that's good. You might think, every day I go out for a walk. Wow, after I go for a walk, I always write down positive comments about that. I go for a walk out in nature. That is my key. I need to keep doing that. And that's something I definitely need to keep on my list.
So the reflection over the period of time that you're going to do it will allow you to, like we've said, see certain patterns, allow you to understand something that worked well and you think to yourself, I need to keep doing that or I need to change that. So going forward, it will also help you to set your goals for the next 12 months as well, because you can say, wow, this is what I want to achieve. This is what worked really, really well in order to me to be able to achieve that, or perhaps that didn't. So maybe I need to go and speak to somebody that's going to help me to achieve that particular goal. Reflective thinking really does help you to look and plan your future and your goals.
And that sums up that quote, live your life forwards by setting your goals, learn it backwards by reflecting.
Absolutely. So yeah, you can start creating your plan from your reflection, which is, I always think, really, really exciting, particularly if you're thinking of the next 12 months or even the next 6 months or the next month. I love that planning stage because I think that's the most exciting part of it.
It is. Planning is so key in life. And if you can get excited about making your plans, then they're going to be definitely more effective and you're going to achieve the goal, you're going to achieve the outcome. So let's go back to that holiday. It's really, really exciting, isn't it? We're going away on holiday. We've got our 2 weeks in the sun. So what we're going to do is we're going to plan what we're going to take with us. We're going to plan maybe a few places that we want to see. This is now building the excitement because I've got my new holiday clothes. I'm planning my excursions.
I'm allowed new clothes.
You're allowed new clothes. You always buy new clothes. We worked out how we're going to get there and planned all the boring stuff as well. Make sure we've got our passport because we need that, don't we? But all of this stuff's coming together now. Now, some people might arguably say, well, that's really stressful. What if I miss the plane? What if I get to the airport late? What if I get stuck in traffic? Don't worry about those things.
What if you do get to
Make
the airport?
the plan. Make the plan with the positives.
Yes.
And just keep everything simple.
Yeah.
You don't need 6 weeks worth of clothes to go on a 2-week holiday. So just pack simple, pack light.
Yeah.
Make sure you've got a list of all those things that you need. So we're excited. We're off now. We're off on our holidays and we're going to go and do all those exciting excursions. So now I've built that excitement. When I actually do it, it's going to be really cool, isn't it? It's going to be so, so good.
It is. So, guys, reflective thinking. Now, this is a life skill, believe it or not, that we've lived with all of our lives. We may not practice it so much now, but we've always been able to do it. So think back to when you were younger, and if you touch something hot, what happened? You learned not to do it again because it hurt.
Yeah.
That's reflective thinking.
That's reflective thinking.
A really simple way of explaining how it works. You did something, ouch, that hurt. I'm not going to do that again.
Do you know what? I picked up a really hot plate earlier, didn't
You
I?
did.
I nearly dropped it. No, I didn't know the plate was hot when I picked it up, because if I'd have known that, I wouldn't have picked it up. I would have definitely put a tea towel under it or something like that. But that is a really, really good point. Yeah, we do learn from those things over the years.
Yeah, but as we get older, there are many similar lessons, but often, as you said right at the beginning, they get lost in the chaos of your general day-to-day workings. And that's why I think the journaling, even if you just spend 5 minutes, literally just before you go to bed, and just write a few things down, that will be so valuable for you later on when you go to reflect, whether it's you reflect in the end of the month, 6 months, the 12 months, whatever. You've written that down and you've got that there to help you with your future.
That's really good. So you've just overcome the objection of, what if I haven't got time and I'm too busy to do this?
5
we know
minutes.
5 minutes a day. How much time do we waste each day on our phones or just doing something idly that we perhaps know is a waste of time and could be doing something else more productive, like journaling?
So good luck to everybody with your reflection over this summer. And if you want to, it's really easy to get hold of our book, How to Bullet Journal, and you can use that to reflect weekly and monthly.
Yeah, so hop onto our website, which is futuretoolbox.co.uk. Click on the link that says shop and you can find How to Bullet Journal, or Bujo for short,
Bujo.
on there.
I love that word.
That's fantastic. If you are an Amazon shopper, you can also find it on Amazon as well, and it'll probably get delivered to your door the following day.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. You can also follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok.
TikTok.
You can find us on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel with lots of really great tools on. Plus, we're on LinkedIn because we are
Everywhere.
So we look forward to catching you in the next episode. Keep on journaling and see you soon.
Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us for the Z2A of Life Skills with Jules and Mark of the Future Toolbox. Don't forget to head over to their website, which is futuretoolbox.co.uk, where you can find lots of free resources, plus a host of books in the store, as well as subscribing to the membership site. Follow Future Toolbox Instagram, TikTok and Facebook at Future Toolbox, and subscribe to their YouTube channel too.